Okay, this is just a quick redo of the Trinidad Tobago victory over Cuba back to back. The sound settings weren't too good in my first video, redoing it. If you like the video, click like, subscribe, share with your friends, okay? All right, Trinidad Tobago, we beat Cuba back to back in Santiago in Trinidad. Let's look at the pros. First game, we were down 1-0 early in the game. We had no Levi Garcia for that match. Came back, didn't get too stressed about it, scored 2 goals, 1-1. Could have been 4, but, we won the game. We looked all right abroad. Cuba is a tough team at home. They've beaten the likes of the USA and Mexico in competitive matches. And, as I said, no Levi Garcia. Cuba playing to win. We did well. We got a chance to see Spicer, and he looked good. Big, strong guy with some good skill. I gave away the ball a little too much sometimes in the first match, but he looked much, much better in the second match. So on to the second match. What happens? We played against 10 men for 99% of the match. We handled them. We won 4-0. Again, Spicer looked good. He had a hand in a lot of the goals in both Cuba and Trinidad and Tobago. And if you saw the goal with Molino where he assisted, he went through 3 men. It wasn't just skill, but it was his size. And this is something we need. We need men with some size who can handle the bigger opposition in international football, like the Canadians, Americans, Jamaicans, and so on. His size is going to be very useful, like the likes of Yeats, James, and Rion Moore, and so on. So these were the positives. Dwight York got a chance to use some players and get some much-needed practice match, or not practice match, but games before the World Cup qualifiers in June. I talked about Spicer, I talked about his size, and this leads me to my concern, which is, we need some very innovative players up front. We have Levi Garcia. But if you looked at the olden days from the mid-60s to the late 90s, Trinidad Tobago was spoiled for choice in terms of creative players. We had like Gally Cummins, Dwight York, Russell Latterby, Steve David, Leroy De Leon St. Louis, Clint Marcel, Terry St. Louis, Arnold Warwick, and the names go on and on and on. Terry St. Louis used to catch his tail to make the bench in Trinidad. He would walk onto a Trinidad team today. Besides Levi, yes, we have some extremely talented fellas. John Paul Rushford, Real Gill, Ovray come to mind. But they're too small to compete with the big boys of international football. And against the Americans and Jamaicans, they're just non-factors. You saw Real come on in the second half against Cuba. He looked wonderful. But against the Central Americans and Caribbean players, will always look good. It's against the bigger opposition we're having a problem. And no point having all that skill if you can't play because you're too small. For years we've been saying this. Most of these guys, except Rushford, are out of Trinidad. And I certainly hope that they're using the gym facilities and getting a little bigger. Don't know how much bigger anybody can get in the next 6 months, but hopefully they can get physically stronger. So that is definitely something we have to work on. Another thing is Trinidad Tobago doesn't always have a lot of internationals, and the whole idea of the Concacaf League of Nations was to give countries a chance for more action. It means countries like Trinidad, which doesn't organize a lot of internationals, and just as I say this, we have some internationals coming up with Jamaica, Nigeria, and Ghana abroad, but we don't seem able to organize much at home. Having said that, it gives us a chance, us and the other countries, to play a lot of football, have our players recognized, get them contracts, and more importantly, get them international practice. Dwight has World Cup qualifiers coming, and the good thing about these Cuban games, it was a chance for Dwight to put the team together and see see what his players look like, see what his formation looks like, and use some tactics. The man has to have games in order to create a team for the World Cup qualifiers. Players have to play internationally in order to get better. So that's a great thing about the CONCACAF League of Nations. Now let us talk about qualifying for the World Cup. We are in a group with Costa Rica. Now, it's 6 groups of 4 teams. The top 2 go through. And that'll be 12 teams divided into 3 groups, 4 teams per group. And the 3 winners will go through. Now, I was ecstatic before. I'm more ecstatic now. I thought we had 6 spots, 3 automatic and the 3 final group winners. Turns out, theoretically, we have 8 because the 2 second best placed teams will go into an international playoff to qualify for the World Cup. So we really have a chance. Trinidad Tobago has never had it this good. I talked about problems against bigger teams. Well, the Canadians are not there, the Americans are not there, and of course Mexico has automatically qualified. So let's look at the groups and who should go on to the final group stage of qualification. Group A: Honduras, Cuba, Cayman Islands, Antigua, and Bermuda. Theoretically, Honduras and Cuba should have that sewn up, and right now neither Honduras or Cuba are doing anything amazing in international football. Group B, our group: Costa Rica, Trinidad Tobago, St. Kitts, Grenada, and Bahamas. Theoretically, again, it should be Costa Rica and Trinidad, but let us not forget that in qualifying for the 2022 World Cup, in our group, it was St. Kitts that pipped us because we drew too many matches. and went ahead in the next round of qualifications. We had to beat Bahamas in our last match, must win. We played very complacently until the last minute of play. A team that was infinitely superior on paper, Kadeen Highland, Sheldon Batu, Joven Jones, Kevin Molino, and so on, struggled with the Bahamas. And St. Kitts pipped us. Grenada recently had us 2-0 down in Grenada before we came back and drew 2-all. So we cannot assume Trinidad and Tobago, as I've said before, messes up the unmessable. All right, at qualifying for the 2014 World Cup in the space of 1 week, we lost to Bahamas and Guyana. And Guyana pipped us and went to the next round of qualifying. So we need to not be complacent. I don't know how it happens, but it happens, okay? Group C, Curacao, Haiti, St. Lucia, Aruba, and Barbados. Again, that should be Curacao and Haiti. I don't really see St. Lucia doing much. You never know, but it should be Curacao and Haiti. Group D, Nicaragua, Panama, Guyana, Montserrat, and Belize. Nicaragua, Panama. Guyana, I think, is a dark horse. A dark horse in that group to qualify for the next round. Group E, Guatemala, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Dominica, and the British Virgin Islands. Of course, logically, it should be Guatemala and Jamaica, shouldn't it? Now, as I said in the first video, I do not think because Jamaica, the groups of Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Panama, if they win their groups, it is not logical in the next round of qualifying to have them grouped up in the same group. It is logical that the winners of their groups should be spaced out. And if these teams win their groups, it means Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Panama will be in different groups. Because we are in Costa Rica's group, I am hoping that it'll probably be Jamaica or Panama we have to meet in the final round. To be quite honest with you, aside from Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Panama, I think Trinidad and Tobago can, on the best day, easily handle the rest of the opposition. Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Suriname, and if we can't, we should not be going to the World Cup. Now, let us say because we're with Costa Rica, we'll get Jamaica or Panama in the final group stage. If we can handle the other countries, we just have to handle our business with those countries. If we play a good, strong game, we should be able to handle them at home. It is not impossible to defeat these countries or give them problems. Jamaica was cruising 3-0 against the Dominican Republic. Dominica. And Dominica scored 2 goals in 8 minutes, and Jamaica hung on for a 3-2 victory. Jamaica in the Concacaf League of Nations was 1-0 down in St. Vincent and got a penalty in the last minute to draw the game. So, Jamaica, as great as they are, they have imploded for World Cup qualifiers. And again, of course, I'm hoping they do again because I'm biased and, I want Trinidad to get ahead. So it's not impossible. If you play some good, strong football, you can shock these countries. Worst case scenario, we come out second and have an internation playoff. But Trinidad and Tobago is slowly getting better. We're slowly getting pieces of the puzzle together. Between 2023 and 2024, we brought in Rion Moore, we brought in Nathaniel James, we had Ovre. Okay. Real Gill is there, John Paul Rushford is there. We now have Spicer, and I know they're looking at players in England and America, and hopefully we'll get even better. Spicer, as we saw, is a big, strong guy. He's also tackling players, which is, of course, it gives us greater depth. So I'm looking forward to Dwight getting better players. Putting more pieces of the puzzle together, and we got a shot. We got a legitimate shot. We've never had it this easy. If we can't qualify for this World Cup, something wrong. And Trinidad and Tobago is too good to be struggling like this. Just as I'm making this video, I heard there's some sort of tournament in England in late May with Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, and Trinidad. 2 teams will play each other, and then the 2 winners will meet, and the 2 losers will meet in the next round. So either any way you look at it, although we're playing Jamaica first, even if we lose, we'll play Nigeria or Ghana next. Wonderful prep for the World Cup qualifiers coming up in June against St. Kitts and Costa Rica. We play St. Kitts in Trinidad. We play Costa Rica in Costa Rica. I'm looking at minimum a 2 or 4 goal victory over the Kittians. And hopefully we'll do well in Costa Rica. Trinidad and Tobago in their last World Cup qualifier in Costa Rica we lost 2-1, but Costa Rica was hanging on in the second half. I've never seen Trinidad give Costa Rica this much trouble. I've never seen Costa Rica struggle against TNT in Costa Rica like this. So, anything is possible with some bad mind and some preparation. So I hope the Federation is giving Dwight his support. He got these matches. Excellent. He's got 2 more matches in May. Excellent. I don't know if he has any other matches, but we're seeing players coming together. We are seeing players coming together, and our attack is getting slowly stronger. So let's wish Team TNT, the Soca Warriors, the best of luck going forward, and let's take them on. Let's handle them in June.